Okay, so we're on page, I know it says 7 in, oh, nope, it is 7. 7 in your workbook. All right, so we're on page 7 of your workbook. You are going to need a pencil for just this one, okay? Now, we're gonna first start off by talking about up here is where can you find inspiration, all right? A lot of times we get an idea, like we get a theme, and we have no idea. So we're gonna use the theme for this page, spring. Okay, and you have no idea what to do. All right, you're like, I don't know where I'm stuck. Okay, I want you to come up with a list of 9 different ways that you can get an idea from. Okay, I'll start off with the first 2, and hopefully that'll get you thinking of like other things. Okay, so one way that you could get an idea is your own experience. Own experience. So what do you do during spring? Okay, so I actually work out in my garden, into my vegetable garden and my flower garden. So I could probably do a project kind of relating to spring from my own experience, okay? Another way I could get an idea is, let's see, I could, what could I do? I could ask a friend. Okay, I might say, hey, do you have any ideas? That might get you kind of going on what you could do for spring. Now, there are many, many, many other ideas that you can do. You can look different places. You can get inspiration from all different spots. What I want you to do is I want you to fill up areas where you could look, where you can get an idea. Because I have a feeling at one point you might get to that spot where you have a theme. And you're like, well, what can I do with this theme? I'm not wanting you to, say, oh, the theme is spring. I'm going to draw a flower. Well, that's a good idea. But I want you to go and find other ideas. See what other people have done. Talk to other people, okay? Explore. Come up with a list of where can you get other ideas from, okay? All right, so I'm going to suggest that you either pause right now and complete this, or we're going to continue on, okay? And then you can do this afterwards. All right, so we're going to use that theme above, spring, okay? So spring is going to be our theme that we're going to work with. And I'm going to show you what you can do with a theme, because you don't necessarily want to just give the most plain idea that you come up with. Now, a lot of your projects are going to be, how can you push your project? What kind of story can you do? All right? I'm not looking for the most obvious. I'm looking for, well, what else can you get to? All right? So let's do that whole like flower idea. You're like, I really like flowers. Flowers are great. I go and work out in the garden during spring and want that. So, okay. So you see a picture and you're like, all right, I'm going to come up with my own version. I saw a picture of a garden and I'm going to still do the garden. So I was like, okay. I go through and, you know what? Why don't I do this? For here, don't copy me, because I'm going to give you a different theme and what to do, okay? So, remember, do not copy my example. Do not, do not, do not. So, my version. My version is how I would do it the same way, okay? So, let's say I saw this beautiful container, okay? It had flowers coming out, all right? I don't know. It had some gloves next to it. I don't know, a shovel. Okay. My version. The same, but my way. Okay. So instead of like maybe roses, I put daffodils. Instead of like maybe one glove, I put like 2 gloves in there or something like that. It's my version, okay? So I would suggest that you do write this down, but not that. So still okay, what we can do, let's merge ideas. Let's put two things together to come up with the idea of spring. So what can I do? What can I merge with the idea of spring? Well, I really do like tea. Okay, you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna see if I can put that with tea. Well, what if I did a garden outside? Okay, let's pretend it's outside and I'm on a chair, okay, and I have a little teacup here, okay, and in the back I have little flowers, and I have flowers here. So I'm kind of merging, I'm bringing two things together. Okay, I'm bringing tea and spring together. Okay, so it gives me that feeling. Define. This one's nice and easy. This one is what makes up spring. Okay, we'd have to come up with all the different things that make up spring. All right, so spring, how can I define it? It's kind of like empty trees with little blossoms, getting outside, starting to be warm. Okay, we have, let's make it look like there's outside. Okay, we have some trees. All right, they're starting to look a little bit, not quite bare. All right, maybe put a little flowers on. Okay, there we have like small daffodils out. Okay, we have maybe path, people are starting to get outside. So I'm putting all things that are about spring here. Okay, symbols and indirectly implying spring. You're like, well, how do I do that? All right, does anyone know what a crocus is? A crocus is like a flower that comes out even if it snows. All right, so let's imagine that this is all snow, and in the center we have this little mound. Okay, and we have these little flowers kind of poking up. Okay, but there's snow all around. This implies spring is about to happen. Okay, so sometimes when we have symbols, they mean something else. We're not showing, we're kind of getting them to lead to where it needs to be. Okay, so it's almost make them think the theme. Okay, now let's kind of go over this one more time before I give you your theme. Okay, first one is kind of like your version. So you come up with an idea, you see someone else's idea, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do it, but I'm just gonna do it a little bit my way. Merging ideas. You take something else and you kind of put it together with it. All right, so I thought spring, flowers. Okay, well, I like tea, maybe I can merge those two together. Perfect. Define. It's like when we break something down and we put all the things that are related with it. Okay, so let's say if we had a bicycle, I put the bicycle helmet, I put everything with it, kind of all together. Okay, symbols. We're looking for something that's going to make you imply. Now, these are all great ways to take a simple theme and push it to tell the story even better. All right, you ready for your theme? So you can kind of give me some ideas. Your theme is going to be freedom. Okay, now freedom has many different meanings to it. Lots of different meanings, okay? Freedom, it could be, just when you feel like when you're, I don't know about you guys, but when I used to go bike riding long time ago, when I was going really fast and no one was on the road and my hair is all, kind of going back, I felt free, okay? Like nothing was matter. Freedom might be freedom from not having to do something. Okay, like sometimes if you feel like, oh, I got out of doing that chore, or I got something and I didn't have to do anything, that might be free. Freedom might be a flag. Freedom might be an animal. Freedom might be almost anything. okay, I would highly suggest that maybe you do a little research, see what other people do, and then come up with ways on how you can create your own version of what this looks like. Can you merge this with something to create that look? And by the way, do me a favor, tell me the word that tell me the idea that you're merging. Define, well, what does it look like to you? What does freedom look like? If we had to create a picture in a dictionary, what would it look like? And what kind of symbols represent freedom, okay? And when you're done, please do me a favor, just upload it into Seesaw.